Welcome. In this video, we'll cover how to create, modify, and manage named ranges, update formulas with names, and understand the scope of named ranges. You'll also learn how to create multiple named ranges at once. The name box is a quick and easy way to define named ranges in Excel, making your formulas more readable. Here's a simple example using a tax rate value in a formula. Suppose we have a formula that calculates the total price after applying tax. In this formula, B2 is the original price and E2 is the tax rate. To apply the formula to the entire list, either drag the fill handle down or double-click it. This will automatically calculate the total price, incorporating the tax rate defined in cell E2. To make the formula easier to understand and manage, we'll assign the name tax to cell E2. To do this, click on cell E2, go to the name box, type tax, and press enter. Cell E2 is now named tax, making future references to it more intuitive and easier to manage, especially if you're working across multiple worksheets. Next, update your formula by replacing the cell reference E2 with the named range tax. As you start typing, a list of named ranges will appear. You can easily identify named ranges by the icon to the left of the name. Finally, double-click the fill handle again to apply the updated formula across the entire list. Named ranges are not limited to single cells. You can define a named range that includes multiple contiguous or non-contiguous cells, or even an entire row or column. Continuing with the previous example, let's create named ranges for the price and total price columns. Select the range B2 to B21, type price in the name box, and press enter. Select the range C2 to C21, type total_price in the name box, and press enter. Now, you can use these named ranges and formulas for better readability and flexibility. For example, instead of using the range B2B21 to sum the price column, you can use the name price. Similarly, use the total_price to sum the total price column. We can easily navigate to named ranges by selecting them from the name box dropdown. Click the down arrow in the name box, and Excel will display a list of the named ranges you've created. When we select a name from the dropdown, Excel will automatically jump to that range. For example, selecting tax will take you to cell E2. Selecting price will highlight the range B2 to B21. Selecting total_price will select the range C2 to C21. Using the name box, you can quickly see a list of all named ranges and easily identify and jump to any range by selecting it. A defined name in Excel can have either Workbook scope or Worksheet scope. By default, names created through the name box have Workbook scope, meaning they can be used across the entire workbook. For example, a name created on Sheet 1 can also be used in formulas on Sheet 2. To test this, let's add another sheet, input some products and prices, and then use the tax name to calculate the total price after applying the tax rate set in Sheet 1, cell E2, name tax. As shown in the video, the formula correctly references the tax name, which points to cell E2 on Sheet 1 and calculates the price after applying the tax rate. Now let's talk about Worksheet scope. When you define a named range with Worksheet scope, that name will only be available on a specific worksheet. This is useful when you want to restrict the use of a name to just one sheet, which can help prevent confusion or errors in large workbooks. For example, let's say we want to define a named range called discount for the value in cell G2 on Sheet 2, and we want this name to be available only on Sheet 2. To do this, first select cell G2 in Sheet 2, then go to the Formulas tab and click Define Name. In the New Name dialog box, enter discount as the name for this range. Now, in the Scope dropdown, select Sheet 2 to ensure this name is only available on that sheet. Once you're ready, click OK. Now that we've defined the name, let's use it in the formula to calculate the final product cut price after applying the discount percentage, which is stored in cell G2 named discount. Here, the formula shown on the screen will subtract the discount percentage from the original price, giving us the price after discount. As you can see, the discount name is working perfectly in the formula on Sheet 2, exactly as expected. Now, let's see what happens if we try to use the discount name on Sheet 1. When I try to reference discount here, Excel doesn't recognize it. That's because the discount name is scoped to Sheet 2, so it's not available on Sheet 1 or any other sheet. If you still need to use a named range that's not scoped to the workbook on a different sheet, you'll need to reference it explicitly by typing the sheet name, followed by an exclamation mark, and then the name of the range is shown on the screen. As you can see, once I reference it explicitly, the formula works correctly because we've specifically referenced Sheet 2, where the named range is defined. Did you notice? The Define Name button is actually a drop-down. When you click the down arrow, it reveals an option called Apply Names. Selecting Apply Names opens a dialog box that lists all the named ranges available for the current sheet. The Apply Names feature is especially useful when you've been using cell references in your formulas and later assign names to those ranges. Excel doesn't automatically update the formulas to use the new names. Instead of manually replacing cell references with named ranges, you can use Apply Names to do this automatically. Let's demonstrate with an example. Here, in the total price column, we have the formula that references a cell named tax in E2. If we replace the named range tax with the absolute reference as shown on screen and drag the formula down, it now directly refers to E2, not the named range. Now, the formula no longer uses the named range tax. It just directly references the cell E2, which holds the tax rate. Here we see how the Apply Names feature works. Go to the Formulas tab, click the drop-down arrow next to Define Name, and select Apply Names. In the dialog box that appears, select Tax from the list and click OK. Excel will automatically replace the cell reference with the named range tax. This way, instead of manually updating each formula, Excel does the work for you, ensuring consistency across your formulas with the correct named ranges. You might have also noticed the Use in Formula dropdown in the Define Names group on the Formulas tab. Clicking this dropdown shows a list of all named ranges in your workbook. This is especially helpful when you're unsure of the exact name assigned to a range, and you want to insert it directly into a formula. To demonstrate, let's calculate the price after applying tax. Start by typing equals 300 asterisk 1 plus. Now, click the Use in Formula dropdown and choose tax from the list. This will insert the tax named range directly into the formula. This is particularly useful if you're not sure which name has been assigned, and you want to quickly insert it right into your formula. Another alternative is to use the Paste Names option or simply press the keyboard shortcut F3. This opens the Paste Name window, where you can select the name you want to insert into your formula. Select the name you need, click OK, and Excel will paste the name into the formula for you. Another way to create named ranges is by using the Create from Selection option. This is a great method for creating multiple named ranges at once, especially when you have data organized in a clear way. In this example, we have a table with data that includes categories like product, price, and quantity. Let's say we want to create named ranges for each column of data. To do this, select the range of data you want to create names for. Then, go to the Formulas tab and click on Create from Selection. The Create from Selection dialog box will appear. Here, you can choose where the name should be based, whether it's from the row, column, or both. Since our data has headers in the top row, we'll select the top row option. Excel will automatically create named ranges based on the headers of each column. Once you click OK, Excel will create named ranges for product, price, and quantity, making it easier to refer to these ranges in formulas. This method is a quick and efficient way to create multiple named ranges at once, especially when working with structured data. Now that we've defined the named ranges, let's use them in a formula. For example, we can calculate the average price and quantity. To calculate the average price, use the name price instead of range. This will return the average of all the values in the B2 to B21 named price range. Similarly, calculate the average quantity. This will return the average of all the values in the quantity range. Excel will now automatically calculate the averages for both columns using the named ranges we've just created. Lastly, let's learn how to modify and delete named ranges. The Name Manager in Excel makes it easy to find, review, edit, and delete names. To open the Name Manager, go to the Formulas tab and click Name Manager, or press Ctrl F3. The Name Manager will display all the names in your workbook. It shows the current value of each name, the range it refers to, and its scope, whether it's available to the entire workbook or just a specific sheet. To edit a name, open the Name Manager, select the name you want to edit, and click the Edit button at the top of the window. In the Edit Name dialog box, you can modify the name, add a comment, and change the refers to range. However, note that the scope of a name cannot be changed once it's set. Click OK to save your changes. To delete a named range, open the Name Manager if it's not already open. Select the name you want to delete and click the Delete button. A confirmation message will appear. Click OK to confirm the deletion. You can also create a new name from within the Name Manager window. Click the New button, which will open the New Name dialog box. Here, you can enter the name, select the scope, and define the range in the Refers to box. That's it. In this tutorial, we've explored several methods to create and manage named ranges. We've also covered how to modify and delete defined names. In the upcoming video, we'll dive into dynamic named ranges. Thank you for watching. If you found this tutorial helpful, please like, subscribe, and share. Your support means a lot to us.